Hi guys! Welcome to my vlog. So for today's video, I will share my final reflection. So sa mga hindi pa pala nakapanood ng aking preliminary and midterm reflection vlog, I had already it uploaded in my YouTube channel. So panoorin nyo po iyon dahil marami kayong matutunan at malalaman sa ating kasaysayan noon. So before we will start, click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so that you are updated to my latest video. So bubunot po tayo ng ating reflection na ating isi-share, and the reflection that I will share is all about the role of Islam and the history of the Filipino people. The Philippines' first non-monotheistic religion was Islam. Muslims believe that God is the creator of all things and that God is all-knowing and all-powerful. Christians believe that Jesus was the incarnated Son of God and divine. So Islam teaches that Jesus was one of the most important prophet of God but not the Son of God, not divine, and not part of Trinity. Rather, Muslims believe that the creation of Jesus was similar to the creation of Adam. As a youth, we should to respect of others' religious beliefs because by showing respect for yourself and other people's allows you have better connection as well. The religion we choose, we can seek a sense of belonging and positive relationship with peers, friends, and adults in a religious community. I firmly think that everyone should be free to follow any religion they choose. This right includes the freedom to change one's religion or beliefs in public or private or in community with others. If anyone believes in any particular religion, then it does not affect anyone particularly religious freedom. It allows different faiths and beliefs to flourish. Muslims have epic characters. It cannot deny that their depredation and ongoing battle against attempts to defeat them have left and a trail of immeasurable cruelty, sorrow, and admisery. So they had not readily considered that such behavior could have been a result of their fundamentals Islamic conviction that there is a universally accepted code of conduct and that man should strive to resemble it. In fact, one of our greatest minorities in the Philippines may make a significant contribution to ongoing search for national identity. And the second topic that I will share is minutes of the proceeding of the national territory of the 1971 Constitutional Convention. The issue that has been discussed is all about the national election process. The geographic area and the text of the 1971 Constitutional Convention in the Philippine Archipelago. This document can be used to support the Philippines' claim to ownership of the islands in the West Philippine Sea that China is claiming. Youth, these documents remind us that we should to fight what we have if the other can get it. So there are so many scenarios in which I can picture myself in the position of the one country, like myself, claims that it is theirs. I also claim from my siblings other things that are not mine, and the same is true of them. It's because the item is of high quality. So there are certain things that they claim to possess but are actually my creations. So the West Philippine Sea is also contributes significantly to fisheries due to its abundance of natural resources. We can't hold China accountable for claiming ownership of the West Philippine Sea since from their perspective, it is part of their territory. As a result, China has no legal standing to assert its claim to the West Philippine Sea. The West Philippine Sea is situated inside our territorial limits. The West Philippine Sea lies inside of our exclusive economic. In essence, this means that the Philippines has authority and rights over the undersea areas. China has abundant marine resources, therefore has been given attention. We cannot, however, deny that the more something shines, the more people are drawn to it and would attempt to steal it from others. And the third topic that I will share is all about mental, the little Tokyo of the pre-war Philippines. The discussion is all about the mental, also known as the Little Tokyo of the pre-war Philippines. The story of mental, where Ota Kyuzaburo leave a big development to the Menda, especially in Davao City that boasts the economy of our country. The Japanese are really a big help during that time because the early Filipinos before the World War II, many things has improved on that time because of Ota Kyuzaburo. The success of his abaca plantation made the Davao City pave the economic's growth and help the Filipino to live. But not all the times. The luck will stick to the people of the Davao. So the war has come and the World War II shut down the Davao City. Development that the Japanese have done to the Mindanao suddenly tears apart. It is really true that if there's a good thing that happens, a bad one will happen next. As what I can see in myself in the way of my living, it is the same. There are so many scenarios that I have experienced in the past until now. In my own experience, if there's a good thing that will happen, so the next one will be a bad one. So just like what happened in Mintal. So the development was end because of the war. Even though the Mintal was destroyed, the Japanese influences will remain in Davao City. The Davao City now is one of the main source of abaca in Mindanao, and it is because of the Japanese that live for a main time. So the Davao City is one of the developed city in Mindanao compared to Cebu. It is far more developed and better than Cebu. So the reason why is because of the Japanese who deserve to be remembered and give recognition for what they have done today. Japanese is really a helping friend to us Filipino, and until now Japanese is helping to us when our country needs a help. The fourth topic that I will share is all about the address of Macapagal on Independence Day. Diosdado Macapagal declared June 12 as a public holiday that our Independence Day. President Macapagal gave a speech on June 12, 1962 outlining why such a move is appropriate. So Macapagal believed that it was a proper that what we should celebrate, not the day when other nations give recognition to our independence, but the day when we declared our desire to exercise our inherent and inalienable right to freedom and independence. So this is because that the nation's right to liberty is not derived from the grant or recognition of another, but rather is an attribute it naturally holds. He continued by saying that the 1898 Proclamation of Independence was marked by the resolve and cohesion of local government leaders to revolt as opposed to the independence recognized by the Americans in 1946. As a youth, Independence Day serves as a reminder of that our heroes struggle for freedom and the people who fought it. In his speech, President Macapagal spoke to the benefits of commemorating President Macapagal spoke to the benefits of commemorating Philippine independence. In addition, we commemorate our freedom fighters on Independence Day because they were the ones that fought for our nation and gave their lives in the process. So the day we celebrate our independence is very important to us because it honors the bravery and spirit of the freedom fighters who fought for the country's independence. It is the only day we have to remember our martyrs who gave their lives for the country. Philippine Independence Day is purposed to give apparent value towards the sovereignty of the country, giving recognition to the fact that the Philippine government is centralized and has supreme authority, both legitimate and internationally recognized, over the territory of the Philippine lands. Independence is important for developing social connections and making a positive impact on the world because it offers us a sense of significance and belonging. It increases our levels of empathy and self-awareness, which teaches us to care for those around us. Being independent, it enables us to take care of our own needs, whether they be material, emotional, or physical. You're in a better position to help others as a result. As a result, you become happier, feel more a part of something, have a feeling of purpose, and are more satisfied with your life. Fifth topic that I will share is all about 1987 Constitution. So the state should promote a just and a dynamic social order that will ensure the prosperity and independence of the country and free the people from poverty through the policies that provide adequate social services, promote full employment, a rising standard of living. So, it will serve as the basis for governing lays out the people's right to elect their representatives or exercises the right to vote, and it includes procedures for determining who is eligible to win for office and who will be chosen. As a youth, this constitution serves as a guide to vote wisely for the representatives of our country. We should to think if our representatives we vote is eligible, and the election present a significant chance to promote political liberalization and democratization. Certain civil liberties such as the freedoms of speech, association, and assembly are necessary for a free and fair election. As I observe, some representatives act honestly in a good faith and within the low good communication skills are helpful because you might have to interact with a wide variety of people and circumstances. C. The first legal duty of representatives is to help the adult make their own decisions. Citizens elect representatives to serve in legislative bodies and to speak out on their behalf before the government. In a democracy, the adult citizens must have the right to vote, and it's about must have equal value. It expresses that individuals should have equal representation in voting. Everyone has the right to equal access to public service, and everyone has the right to participate in government of the people expressed in regular and genuine elections serve as the foundation for the authority of government. It is crucial because without it, voters would not have the ability to select the leaders of the nation. The voting allows its citizen to have a saying what issues should have the considered important by selecting the candidate they believe is best suited for their job. The next topic that I will share is all about agreement on peace between the government of the Republic of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. The 1996 Final Peace Agreement, also called the Jakarta Accord, was signed on September 2, 1996 in Manila, Philippines by Manuel Yan, representing the government of the Philippines, and Narmaswari of the Moro National Liberation Front. So the culmination of 4 years of peace talks, the agreement established mechanisms designed to bring out the full implementation of the 1976 Tripoli Agreement. It discusses the peace that occurred between the two people. So they are committed to enjoying themselves in this serenity. Relations between them, because as we can see in the news, we already know that they have various political views, and from what I recall, they also support terrorism. As a youth, this agreement reminds us that we should to settle everything so that we have a peaceful life. Independence is important for developing social connections and making positive impact on the world because it offers us a sense of significance and belonging. It increases our levels of empathy and self-awareness, which teaches us to care for those around us. Being independent, it enables us to care of our own needs, whether they be material, emotional. As a result, you become happier, feel more a part of something, have a feeling of it discusses the peace that occurred between the two people. So they are committed to enjoying themselves in this serenity. Relationships. So the next topic that I will share is all about 1973 Constitution. So the Philippines renounces war as an instrument of national policy, adopts the generally accepted principles of international law as part of the law of the land, and adheres to the policy of peace, equality, justice, and cooperation with all nations. So the Constitution of Pakistan, also known as the 1973 Constitution, is the supreme law of the Pakistan, drafted by the government of the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto with additional assistance from the country's opposition parties. It was approved by the parliament on 10 April and ratified on 14 August 1973. So the 1973 Constitution, composed of preamble and 17 articles, provides for the shift from presidential to parliamentary system of government. So the Constitution vests the legislative power in the National Assembly. So the Constitution states that all laws they conform with the injunctions of Islam as laid down in the Quran and Sunnah. So this was ratified and proclaimed by President Marcos on January 17, 1973 amidst widespread protest and controversy, with the proclamation of a new constitution. So the presidential form of government was changed to a modified parliamentary form. So constitution is a very important instrument in a state. It is the regulations acknowledged by the people of a state to preserve and maintain peace and order in the society. Without this, the state will be in chaos. So the sovereign power of the state will deteriorate and the government will not be able to function well. This is the report of the cholera epidemic in the Philippines. So cholera is a bacterial disease usually spread through contaminated water. So cholera can be fatal within hours, even in a healthy people. Is easily treated death from severe dehydration can be prevented with a simple and inexpensive dehydration solution. So as a youth, we should to have a proper hygiene, like washing our hands so because it can remove germs that can prevent us from spreading diseases to other people. So personal hygiene is how we take care of our body. Maintaining hygiene reduces the spread of illnesses and risk of medical conditions caused by not taking care of ourselves. So I think cholera is like a COVID-19. It is a disease which we can get from other people. So this bacterial diseases can be prevented when we are all doing a proper hygiene. So cholera remains a global threat to public health and is an indicator of equity and lack of social development. So the last topic that I will share is all about the history of terrorism in the Philippines. Terrorism is the unlawful use of force or violence against persons or property to intimidate a government or its citizens to further certain political or social objectives. The motivation may be nothing more hatred or a desire for power. So terrorists are very likely to try to carry out attacks in the Philippines. As a youth, terrorism has a big impact to us on human rights with consequences for the enjoyment of our right to life and physical integrity of individuals, especially victims of the terrorism. So people typically experience stress, disorders, and anxiety following terrorist attacks. So survivors of terrorist attacks are also more susceptible to substance abuse problem. Si terrorists may act out of their personal motivation depending on their psychological states of mind. So the majority of terrorism's victims are the innocent civilians who are brutally attacked at random while they are in the wrong place and at the wrong moment. So the lives of survivors of attacks and those victims' families are irreparably damaged. So many survivors requires years to heal physically from their wounds or accept their losses, and many continue to be severely traumatized. Any person who engage in terrorism should be sentenced to death or life in prison. So as I observe, the Philippines experiences a lot of terrorists which present a challenge for our government. As a result, terrorism always has a negative effect on society because it creates fear and undermines confidence. So when terrorist attacks that aim to kill many people while destroying and weakening public confidence. So we should be aware and alert for the terrorist aims, and also we must be aware of what to do in the event of a terrorist attack. So terrorism has decreased as a result of the laws that the government implement.